Hi everyone, and welcome to another stream here today with Azure Greg. And tonight I am joined by Samson Amaugo from Nigeria, who's a software engineering student. Samson, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, good to have you on. Yeah, nice to meet you. We were chatting earlier on. So you are, let me get this right. You're a Microsoft student ambassador lead and a GitHub campus expert. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Cool. Tell us a bit about that and tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a bit of background to who you are, Samson.
Okay, so hello, everyone. I am Samson Amaugo. I am a Nigerian, and I'm also a Microsoft MVP. I'm quite passionate about the .NET ecosystem and technologies and toolings in this space. I'm also I'm also like enthusiastic about AI solutions and how to automate different tasks. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So you're an MVP in what, developer technologies? What is that right?
Yeah. An MVP in developers technology, yes.
And how long have you been an MVP for?
Since last year. So my MVP status just got renewed
Oh, nice.
sometime.
Ah, very cool. Congratulations. So you've got the award and the plaque and stuff like that, yeah? You got all that. Good. That's
Yeah, sure.
awesome. What age are you, if you don't mind me asking, Samson? What age are you?
What am I?
What age? How old are you?
Okay, I am 24 years.
Ah, 24. Cool. So how did you get into IT? Give us a bit of background about your upbringing and what you did to become an MVP and be an IT guy.
Okay, so where should I start from? Is it the IT or the MVP?
Yes, as far back as you want.
Okay, so let me talk about the IT. So, going back in time, thinking about it, I remember when I was in high school and I was very, very passionate about embedded systems, but I didn't have money to buy the kits, the Arduino kit, and all those microcontrollers. So I stumbled upon a website that talked about two brothers that made use of Code Academy to learn how to develop a website. And I was like, okay, what is all this all about? So I dug deeper into it and registered on Code Academy and decided to like try out things out of curiosity. So in trying out things, I somehow developed interest. Like it piqued my interest, and I just continued learning. At some point, it was boring. I got discouraged, and I left it. Then after a while, I got back on the terrain and kept running. So
Awesome.
for the MVP, um, I've been a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador since 2019, and when I got to the gold status of the MLSA, that Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, one of our colleagues, he got into the MVP program and he reached out to us and was like, who is interested in being nominated? So I told him I'm interested in being nominated because I was kind of like passionate about the .NET space. And as of that time, I think I've already interned at Microsoft. So intern at Microsoft made me to like develop more interest in .NET, C Sharp, and all those stuff. So I reached out to him and told him I'm interested. And also during that time, I was learning a lot about .NET and I was going through their documentation. And in going through their documentation, I stumbled upon some errors. And in fixing those errors, I had to like, make a pull request. And I somehow got to make a lot of pull requests and fix some issues. And the maintainer got to know about me. And at some point, he told me if I'm interested in being nominated as well for the MVP program. So I told him, yes, I'm interested. So I sent him links to my contributions and he nominated me for the MVP program.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's very cool. So you've done lots of pull requests and updates to the documentation and things like that. That's very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So when did you get involved in learning C#. At what age were you, and whereabouts were you in your career when you started learning .NET and C#?
Since 2021, I would say.
And where were you? Was this at college, at uni, or were you working at the time, or what?
Like, what do you say?
Sorry, were you working at the time, or were you at college or university doing that? Where did you learn? Did you learn that on your own, or what?
Okay, I made use of online resources and some PDF books that I got online, videos too
Very
as
cool.
well.
Nice. So how long have you been doing .NET for? Since, was it 2021?
Yeah, since 2021.
Oh, that's
Say.
2 years. That's pretty cool. Very cool. So you're also a Microsoft certified trainer. Tell us a little bit about
that. Okay, so for the Microsoft certified trainer, I've been as a Microsoft Lesson Ambassador, like I've co-hosted events and organized events, both virtual and physical. So in doing that, I got to know about the MCT program. And prior to knowing about the MCT program, I went ahead to like get myself certified in the Azure's fundamentals and also the Azure developers certification as well. So I think these were like some criteria needed for you to, enter into the MCT program. So once I applied, I kind of got in without no hassle.
Ah, nice, nice. And do you do training yourself just now, or have you done much in the way of training other people?
Yeah. We have like a tech space, a tech community in my school, and for some years now, I've helped a couple number of students to bootstrap their tech career, and I've also helped them to, to debug their codes, I would say, and help them out with resources. So yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So I noticed your blog. Let's bring up your blog actually. Let's put up a banner. This is what's with the swag blooms? Why everyone seems to be called swag blooms? I like it. What's that from? Is that your nickname or something?
I kind of coined it randomly. Okay. Not entirely randomly, but a bit random.
Yeah, your blog post is really good. You've got lots of really interesting blog posts on really up-to-date stuff. Yeah, you've got loads of blog stuff. So if anyone's interested in learning a bit more about .NET, so you've been doing TypeScript, .NET, you've got stuff on data generators, Node.js, you've got a lot of stuff. So are you full stack? You're a full stack developer. You do front end and back end.
Yeah, basically that is it.
And what do you prefer? Do you prefer doing JavaScript languages, or do you prefer doing back end stuff?
I prefer doing back end, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, because I used to do front end stuff, and then it felt like every single day a new framework would come out, and I was like, "This is really getting difficult." It was like, what was it? It was I can't even remember the frameworks, but it felt like there was a new framework every day. Yeah.
The front end space is quite fast changing. A lot of new updates almost every day or every week.
Yeah. So you've been doing lots of good stuff. So what version of .NET have you been using? Have you been using the latest and greatest? Have you been playing about with 8 at all yet?
Yeah. I actually have like some preview versions of .8 on my system. And I've tried a few features, and it's pretty cool, especially the performance boost. Like just switching to .NET gives you that performance boost to your stack.
Oh, really? So maybe going from like 6 to 8 it gives you quite a big performance boost, that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And now .NET 6 is LTS, isn't it? Long-term support. Is 8 going to be long-term support? Do you know?
The 8?
Is that LTS as well?
The 8 does not yet have long-term support. It's still in preview.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So where do you get your inspiration for writing so many blog posts? Because you've got quite a lot.
Yeah. So sometimes when I stumble upon personal issues, maybe in trying to figure out something, a hurdle, and I figure it out, I might be like, okay, let me try and convey my findings. Let me put it out in my blog, and then I just write. I think it's also a good way of like, putting yourself out there as well, and also developing your communication skills.
No, brilliant, very good. That's awesome. You've even got some motivation stuff as well. That's cool. Yeah. Who's your what gives you motivation to do stuff? Just the drive to learn, or what motivates you?
Okay, so I'm interested generally about tech, and also another thing that motivates me is I'm passionate about automation, and for tech personally, I think it's a very lucrative field. So there's something called SAPA from where I'm from. So
Uh-huh.
running away from SAPA also helps motivate me.
Right, cool, awesome.
So SAPA is like poverty, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you want to try and yeah. I understand that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What's it like? What's the tech industry like in Nigeria? Is there lots of jobs? Is there a job shortage? What's the job market like?
The tech ecosystem in Nigeria, I think is just affected, like it's almost the same thing with how it is globally, you know,
Yeah,
shortage
cutbacks and stuff.
in like mostly employment freeze globally. I think it affects not just USA but even countries like Nigeria as well. So
Yeah,
it's kind of tough in the global market.
totally. And are you looking for a job right now, or what point in the job market are you? You looking for a job, or you got a job, or what's your situation just now?
Well, I'm looking for a job currently. Um, I'm on like job parole looking for jobs.
So you're looking for a remote full-time job, is that correct?
Yeah, full-time job. Yeah, sure.
And what sort of jobs would you, excuse me, what sort of jobs would be of interest to you at the moment?
Okay. I'll be interested in back-end jobs, cloud jobs, DevOps jobs,
Okay,
and full stack jobs, but not front end heavy, except it comprises of both the back end and front end. So full stack, back end, DevOps, and cloud.
got you. And how's it going so far? Have you been applying for jobs left, right, and centre?
Yeah, I've been applying. It's not been that easy, but I just have to keep on trying.
Yeah, it's difficult for a lot of people at the moment. Excuse me, I'm slowly losing my voice.
Mm. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't give up. Definitely don't give up, especially when you've obviously got a skill for certainly it's got a skill for writing and learning stuff, so that's good. So I always like to ask people if you had a North Star, what would it be? Now a North Star is like what would be your ideal end job? Like if you could have the most amazing job you can think of, what would that be for you and why? What do you think that might be?
Um, I don't know. I currently looking at my current states, I think having a .NET job would be like the most amazing thing for me right now.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully this interview will maybe try and get you something. So we'll get your name out there anyway, at least. So
Okay.
I noticed you on LinkedIn when you popped up. So there's a senior program manager called Sherry List at Microsoft, and up popped your name. So it says today's Microsoft Learn Contributor Spotlight is Samson Amaugo, who's a full stack web. So basically, you were highlighted as being the student. What was it? The top contributor for ASP.NET content. So that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing, and how did that come about? What were you doing to get that?
Yeah. So since last year, since I got awarded the MVP award, there have been a lot of learning going on, and I think that is a good thing about open source, the fact that you could contribute to your favorite projects or you could contribute to your favorite technologies rather. And in contributing, you also learn because sometimes when I contribute and maybe I'm not using the best standard, some of the maintainers would like chime in into my pull request and give me the best practice, the best way to like edit my code and make it maybe more performant or use the latest syntax, and that is like a feedback loop for me. So in contributing, I also get to learn as well. It's been quite amazing, and the fact that I create sample code for like new features, so I'm kind of up to speed to the latest updates in the .NET space. So it's a win-win.
That is a win-win.
Yeah, it's not just a one-way kind of stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. So, so you were spotlighted as the top Microsoft Learn contributor for ASP.NET. That's a feather in your cap. You should definitely have that on your top of your. Maybe pin that to your LinkedIn profile. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah, you've also got like you've got a blog on the cool features coming from Blazor and .NET 8, so you're definitely on the cutting edge, which is cool. Yeah. So tell me about this Major League Fellowship hacking thing. What's that?
Okay, so the Major League hacking.
That fellowship. Yeah, tell us a little about this for people who don't know.
Sometimes hearing the name Major League hacking could come off as being the nefarious type of hacker.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, the Major League hacking is not actually like a bad type of hacking, or it is not the nefarious type. So it's basically an open source program or initiative that was like created to help students to get into the open source space, support them, also help them to like network with students from all over the world, individuals from all over the world, work on projects, collaborate, and also build communication skills. So that is what it's all about.
And you're taking part in that?
Yeah, sure. It's
what
really
do you
helped
do?
me.
What how has it helped you, and what sort of stuff do you do?
So I've worked on a couple number of projects there. I've worked also using different technologies like Golang, React, Dockersaurus, GraphQL, and also Vue.js. So, being able, so in the program, you're like placed into pods, mini pods. So in those pods, you have like your colleagues, maybe 10 students, 10 individuals in the group, and you work with them throughout the program to accomplish your task, something like that.
Very cool. So it's like a kind of hackathon thing. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so not entirely a hackathon thing, although sometimes we have like inside hackathons.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you enjoy working on it? Are you still doing that, or was that something in the past?
Currently, I'm not in the program.
Okay.
But I might not be in the program in the future. I have no idea, but currently I'm not in the program.
So it says here you're a GitHub campus expert. What's that? Tell me about that. Because I see you've got a t-shirt on.
Oh yeah, the GitHub shirt. So basically, the GitHub campus experts are like students that are given the initiative to help promote tech, promote the tech culture in their campuses, help to educate other students about GitHub, Azure, like cutting edge technologies. Also help to support them in different ways. So that is like a summary of what it's all about. We host events, nice events, those kind of things.
So if I summarize you for someone who I've just spoken to for the first time, you're cutting edge.net. You're also doing a lot of community stuff. You're also doing a lot of open source stuff.
Yeah.
You're also promoting a lot of tech. All of this is like very hireable skills. This is good stuff. I don't think it'll be too long before somebody's chapping at your door trying to hire you. So keep doing what you're doing for sure. Yeah, definitely, especially when you're doing stuff in your own time as well. So good for you. Do you ever do public speaking? Do you ever do talks or anything like that?
Yeah, I like in hosting these events, I would count that as public speaking.
Right.
Sometimes it's a physical event, sometimes it's entirely virtual.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk about cloud. What sort of cloud stuff are you doing? Have you done much in the way of Azure or AWS or anything like
that? So currently, most of my cloud work has revolved around Azure.
Mhm.
So I have used like some of their services and resources like Azure Functions, um, Azure Service Bus, Azure Web App Service,
Right.
Azure Cognitive Services,
Mhm.
Azure Cosmos. Like I've used a couple number of their services and it's really cool, especially with the bicep for resource management.
Yeah, no, it's cool stuff. Do you have your own subscription and stuff to play about with, or how do you go about using Azure?
Okay, so I think I'll say some of the benefits of being an MVP or a Microsoft Student Ambassador. So you have like some credits like you can use on
Mhm.
those platforms on the
So
Azure
you're using
platform.
that. Okay, cool. So that's how you're using it to learn. Good, 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 good. What's your favorite language at the moment? Is it still C sharp, or do you prefer anything else?
Yeah. So currently my favorite language is C Sharp.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Exams wise, what have you been doing exams wise? Any Azure exams?
Yeah,
Hi,
taking
Ahmed.
hi
Say hello.
Ahmed.
Say hello, Ahmed. Hey, there we go. Cool.
So I've taken the AZ 900, that's like the Azure Fundamentals exam.
So you've done that.
Yeah, I've also taken the Azure AI Fundamentals,
Okay, cool.
and I've also taken the Azure Developers Associate Certification exam.
Nice. So you've passed
And
all in.
yeah, and I just scheduled for the Azure DevOps Expert. Easy
And how
400.
much? What's your knowledge like when it comes to DevOps? Have you done a lot of DevOps, or what?
Yeah, I'm I'm still learning in this space, but I've used a couple number of the tools involved, like CI/CD tools, like GitHub Actions. I've
Hmm.
used Azure DevOps as well. I've also
Cool.
used Docker. I've
All
used
right,
Docker
good.
Compose. I've used Terraform, Bicep. I've used which other tool is popular? Kubernetes a bit. So I've used a couple number of these solutions.
That's good. No, good. Yeah, really impressive. I agree, Ahmed. Very impressive. So, yeah, the interesting thing about the DevOps exam is, well, the first mistake a lot of people make is it's not just about Azure DevOps, the tool. It's GitHub and it's GitLab as well. So there's quite a lot of things in there.
Yeah,
Ahmed saying he'd really like to go back and learn C sharp. Yeah, C sharp's my favorite language too. Very
awesome.
nice. Yeah, it's good. It's awesome. I'll tell you a funny story. I was one of the first 50 people in the world to set the C sharp exams, and I got a box signed by Bill Gates with all the posters and all that in it, with all the Microsoft CDs to install it. So yeah, I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. I moved house and lost it,
That
which was
that should be in
a
the
bit
90s.
disappointing. Yeah, that was in the 90s. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, very long.
Anyway, yeah, that was a long time ago. So you've done the developers exam. That's cool. So how do you study for these exams? Are you working on projects day to day, or do you just do this learning in your own time, or what?
Okay, so I use like videos from plural sites or past questions online. Also,
Hmm.
sometimes go through articles that talk about how to pass the exams or some
Right.
possible questions. And then the most, because I believe it's not just about having the certifications, but being able to actually
Do it.
utilize these tools to build a solution.
Yeah.
So I also like work on side projects that revolves around what I've learned. So I think that is
Cool.
the best way to consolidate your learning.
So if I'm interviewing you, right, here's a tip for people. If I'm an interviewer and I'm asking you, do you have a GitHub account with like side projects? What would you say to that answer? Have you got that?
Yeah, of course,
Good.
a couple
What
number
sort of
of
side
them.
projects do you work on? What sort of
What
stuff
sort
have
of
you
what?
been?
Okay.
What sort of projects have you been building?
So I've worked on projects covering WebRTC. Okay, I've worked on projects covering desktop projects. Like I remember
Hmm.
building a download manager using WPF. I've
Cool.
also like worked on mobile projects using web technologies, like using web technologies to build
Hmm.
mobile solutions. I've also worked on full stack web solutions as well. Then Um, I've worked on AI solutions too, but a few number, there are a few. Yeah.
What sort of stuff have you been doing with AI? Is it cognitive services you've been doing?
Yeah, using cognitive services, and there was a time I was using like I think I've forgotten the name of the library. It's been a while, but it's not like something current. A
Mm-hmm.
library in Python for AI, not TensorFlow. Scikit-learn, yeah, I think
Okay.
Scikit-learn, that's the name. I used it to like build simple basic AI solutions.
Yeah, so I know you were a little bit late, but I can't believe that Samson's looking for a job and nobody's taking him up on a job with all these skills that he's got. I mean, I'm surprised at that. So hopefully, chatting to me and we can get you a bit, get
Then
you in a bit.
lately I just finished the Linux Foundation program.
Oh, really? How did you find that?
And I worked on like a .NET library called Oras. So Oras is like a client that enables you to interact with registries
Okay.
like Docker registries or
Mhm.
Azure
Yep.
Container registries. So I had to like craft the .NET version of the client. So that is what I worked on.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Now, when you're writing code, have you tried GitHub Copilot or anything like that? Have you played with these tools yet?
Yeah, sure. I use GitHub Copilot a lot. I think it's like a productivity booster. It's a really, it's an awesome tool.
Yeah, definitely. It's very cool. Have you seen GitHub Copilot X at all? Have you looked at that?
I've not really fiddled with the new
That's
update.
that's coming out. There's some cool features in that, so definitely I'll put it in the chat. You should definitely have a look at GitHub Copilot X. This is this new thing that's coming out. So the only thing I can remember, there's 2 or 3 things coming out with that, but one of them's full on chat. You can ask it to read your code and fix bugs, and it's like a full on chat rather than just asking questions. It's really quite cool, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what exams have you got planned coming up, if any? DevOps,
Yeah, the AC400,
and
the Azure
and
development.
have you booked the exam
Yeah, I scheduled it for next month.
next month?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. So good luck with that. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Any plans to do any other exams after that?
I think I'm looking at the Azure Administrator
Yeah,
exam.
that's a good exam to do. 104 is a good exam. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of fills in some bits that the other exams don't do. Yeah, very cool, very cool. So, what would be your ideal job that you're looking for? .NET developer using cloud.
Yeah, using, cloud technologies like a .NET developers basically. Or maybe
Have you
using
done
some of
any?
the new technologies like Blazor. Yeah, I'm kind of fascinated with Blazor, crafting everything in C# from front end to back end.
Yeah, when you first look at it, you're like, "What?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay, this is actually quite cool." Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. There's lots of new features coming out with .NET 8 as well. I was reading your blog about all the stuff that's coming out. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Ahmed, thanks for joining. Just before we say any more, I just like to say thank you for joining. So what else do you do? What else do you get up to out with of trying to find a job and living in Nigeria? Yeah, here's a good question. Have you updated your resume?
Have I updated my resume? Yeah. My resume seems updated. You could just check out my LinkedIn profile. It somehow resonates with what is on my
Yeah, I've
resume.
got it here. Hang on, I've got it here. So let me just bring that up. Here. Oh no, this one. There we go. So are you looking for work on that? Have you opened yourself up to look for a job? Because I didn't think you had. Let me just check. Oh, I nearly locked them. Yeah, because you can put open to work on there, and you'll get recruiters looking after you. I
Okay,
don't
you
know if you
mean the open to hiring badge?
Yeah, have you got that on yours?
No, I haven't yet added it. I
Okay,
think I'll do that.
you will do that. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Do. Yeah, that'd be good. Well, here's another question or comment. Yeah, so yeah, please share your resume. So we've put your LinkedIn there. Okay, cool. So you've been talking to lots of recruitment people so far,
Yeah, I have,
and how's
but
that going? What's the feedback you get, or do you not get feedback?
sometimes, there's no reasonable feedback. They just tell me,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we
Yeah.
couldn't give you
And
this
why do you
role.
think nobody's? Have you had any second round interviews or anything like that?
Well, I think the most reasonable one was like sometimes they give me feedback in terms of, location constraints being
Yeah.
being the reason why my application was rejected.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't get any actual feedback.
Yeah. Okay. That's the downside of recruitment. Yeah, you don't seem to get feedback. Okay. Because I was going to say, do you want me to look at your CV and your resume and see if there's something missing? Because you've got an outstanding, from what you say, you've got an outstanding background. I take it it's like what we were talking about earlier. There's kind of like it's just quiet on the job front in Nigeria because there's lots of people around the world. There's a job freeze on basically. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ahmed's asking, how about an apprenticeship? Would you consider doing that, like starting up at a company and then working your way up?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that, to be honest.
Okay. I'm sure there's plenty of companies out there that would take on somebody like, especially when you're cutting edge learning. You know, it's not like you're behind the times. You're absolutely not behind the times. So I
Yeah.
would just keep mentioning. Definitely put on you're looking for a work on LinkedIn. Definitely do that, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. But let me know when you do find a job because I don't think it'll be long. You've certainly got all the skills and all the
Nope.
right. So if I was to say to you, like, imagine I'm interviewing you, right, and I want you to go and learn a technology like Haskell, and you've never even done any Haskell. How would you go about doing it? Talk me through your learning for something you don't know anything about.
Okay. So let's say I'm in an interview and you expect me to like learn. Let's say I'm in a job and for some reason the tech stack for the new product we release is Haskell. The first thing I'll do is to go to the documentation and go through the documentation online and also browse about some popular videos or popular content creators on that space in that space and
Yeah,
combine both of them. And I think also work on some mini projects that resonates with what I'm learning.
yeah.
Try to work
But
out mini
yeah,
projects.
so you're doing all the right stuff and saying all the right things. So your job will not be far away. There'll be a job around the corner shortly. Yeah, interesting. So, what tools are you using to learn technologies at the moment? You said Pluralsight. Is there anything else you're using?
Yeah, LinkedIn Learning,
LinkedIn Learning. Good.
Pluralsight, Udemy,
Udemy, right? Okay, cool.
documentation mostly. Like
Yeah,
I read a lot of docs. So then
yeah. A lot of people
sometimes
don't.
books
A
as
lot of
well.
people. Yeah, a lot of people don't read the docs, but that's the best place to go. Yeah, yeah. And you're also building side projects, so it's not as if you're just reading it and not doing it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
surprised. No, yeah, I'm surprised nobody's offered you a job, but hopefully that will change going forward. Do you do any what? So you're obviously an Azure MVP. Sorry, an MVP in .NET technologies. What sort of do you do? Any kind of I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Is there any kind of projects you do with regards to .NET? Any kind of projects or things you do for events or anything like that?
So currently, like I've built CLI tools in .NET.
Hmm.
I've built like backend servers, applications, GraphQL, and all those stuff. But currently, I'm looking forward to translating. I have a project in React and
Okay.
Node.js, so I'm looking forward to translate it to Blazor.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, yeah,
And how easy is that going to be? Don't know yet.
yeah. I think it's going to be super cool. It's also
Okay.
be a good experience for me.
What about
And
what about
go
back
on.
end stuff? Do you have do you have Cosmos DB skills? You said. Have you done much with that?
Yeah, yeah. I've used Cosmos DB And the good thing about Cosmos DB is that it allows you to you can interact with this database using different APIs. If you're familiar with the SQL API, you could use the SQL
Yeah.
API. If you're familiar with the MongoDB API, you could use the MongoDB API to interact with it. I think you can also use the Table API, Azure Tables API to interact with it. I'm not sure, but I'm very sure about the MongoDB and the SQL APIs.
Yeah. Nice. I'm just struggling to find out why you've not got a job. There must be weird people interviewing you or something like that. Because I would hire you if I was looking for someone. So, yeah. Have you done much with OpenAI at all?
OpenAI,
Yeah. Have you done anything with the Azure OpenAI service?
I just use it. I haven't yet used it to
Okay.
I use it to the interactive chat feature, but I've not used it to deploy a project.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is tomorrow we've got Tim Warner on, and he's talking about that, and he's going to start a whole blog series about that. So that'll be interesting.
But I've used a couple number of cognitive services.
How do you find that? Do you like playing with the cognitive services?
Yeah, the cognitive service, the API is quite easy,
Pretty cool
and
stuff. Yeah, it's quite easy.
the
Yeah.
documentation is very, very good.
What did you think of GraphQL when you used it? Because I used GraphQL and I didn't really like it. I thought it was really quite tricky. What was your thoughts on that?
GraphQL. I think your experience with GraphQL is somewhat relative to the library that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Like some libraries make it kind of more hard for you to adopt.
Yeah.
And some of them just take out a good amount of time to making it very simple and easy to adopt. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on the library you choose. Like
Yeah.
for React, for Node.js, I'll go with Apollo. I like Apollo GraphQL
Mm-hmm.
for the
Yeah.
JavaScript space. And for the .NET space, I really like Hot Chocolate.
Oh, that's a cool name, Hot Chocolate. It's my favourite drink.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hot Chocolate.
It's a good name for it. Yeah, we did at work. There's a couple of guys trying to pull out some information from GitHub boards using GraphQL, and it was really tricky. But then they brought out a GitHub CLI, which makes it 10 times easier. So that was good. Yeah, that was cool.
GitHub loves using GraphQL.
Sorry, GitHub projects.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had like custom fields that we're trying to pull some information out of the custom fields, and it was really tricky to get to the custom fields. But then they brought out a GitHub project CLI, which made it a lot easier. So yeah, that was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what have you got lined up for the rest of the year? You've got the AZ 400 exam. Trying to find a job, is that number one?
Yeah, sure.
And how long have you been looking from start to finish until now?
I've been looking for a job for over, I'll say 4 months or 5
4
months.
months. Okay. Well, hopefully the job market will change and you'll get something. Are you looking out with Nigeria or just internally?
I'm looking globally.
Globally. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think if you change your LinkedIn status, you should be getting contacted a bit more regularly. Yeah. Because you're in the same time zone as me, so you could work for most of Europe as well. You can work to the east as well, so that should be fine. Yeah. So do you think you'll ever get to go to like the MVP summit or any conferences or anything like that? Do you think that might be on the cards at some point?
Yeah, I actually do look forward to attending one of these global conferences.
Yeah.
I think I applied for a waiver to attend the open source conference. So let me see how the application goes. If
That'd be
it
cool.
turns out to be positive, then probably that might be my first global conference.
That would be cool. Whereabouts is that?
The location is in Spain.
Spain. Cool. Nice part of the world. Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I went to MVP Summit in Seattle last year. That was really cool. That was really amazing. Yeah, it was good to see Microsoft offices for the first time.
Awesome.
So let's talk real quick about the World Cup. So Nigeria just got knocked out the Women's World Cup, but You didn't watch the game, did you?
I followed the updates. It was
Oh, they
like
were so unlucky. They should have. They were
they
so unlucky.
draw the
Yeah,
popular red.
they got
I
a
would say.
red card for England, and then England won on penalties.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I run a thing in December called the Festive Tech Calendar, and it's usually any kind of tech. So I'm going to get you to sign up for that, so you can do some C# stuff for me. We can do that. So
Awesome.
I'll be in touch on that. Yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's like a calendar thing where you just do like a blog post and then you send it to us, and then every day in December we'll release new content. So we'll get you to do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would like to be there.
Yeah, Ahmed, that goes for you as well. So anyone watching, we're probably going to start organising it next month, and then we'll have it out. If there's anybody on the stream just now who wants a LinkedIn Premium 3-month access, mention it in the comment and I can send you that. So if anyone needs LinkedIn Premium access, which gives you access to training materials, let me know. So yeah, Samson, let me know if you have any friends as well who need that. So if you've got any colleagues or anything like that, they need that, let me know.
Okay, so it only covers the LinkedIn Learning, right?
Yeah, it's LinkedIn Learning Premium. So you get a code and you log in and you get it for 3 months. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you can go in and learn and watch all the videos and stuff like that. So there's loads of Azure content, loads of cloud content, loads of everything really.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Last question I think I've got. Do you have any holidays planned at the moment? Are you going to be doing anything throughout summer, or have you got any plans to do anything between now and the end of the year?
So I plan to learn more technologies in the .NET space. I think there is one that kind of stand out now for me. I've been following the Avalonia UI, and that technology is quite promising. Being able to like use C# to deploy across various platforms from Linux to Windows to iOS to the Mac OS operating system.
Very cool.
And I think they are doing a very good job at making it very performant and easy to adopt because it's somehow similar to WPF. So I think it will be easier for someone who's doing WPF to transition into Avalonia. I
Yeah,
think it's a technology.
you've done WPF, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
I wasn't a big fan of it, I must admit. Although I did a little bit of Silverlight as well, so I got bitten by Silverlight. I learned a bit of Silverlight, and then they got rid of it. So that wasn't too clever. I hopefully they won't get rid of Blazor. I don't see that happening anytime. So yeah, Blazor's very cool. What have you built in Blazor?
Okay, just couple websites, like basic websites, but I plan to transform my side project, my open source side project to Blazor
Okay.
this time around.
And what about unit testing? Do you do testing of your apps? Do you do that as well, or do you just write code?
Yeah, so like working or going through the Linux Foundation mentorship program, I had to like follow best practices and ensure that almost everything was unit tested. So I did a good amount of unit testing working with Linux.
Nice. What language were you? What did you use to test Linux?
Okay, so I made use of the libraries. I used C#, but the library that I used was XUnit. I used
XUnit,
XUnit and MOQ for mocking.
Oh, mocking. Yeah, that's the ones I used because I used them about 10, 15 years ago. So that shows you how old I am when they first came out. So that's pretty cool. They're still relevant. Okay, cool. I don't really have any other questions for you, Samson. What I would say though is if you're stuck with anything or you need help with anything, definitely reach out. Go on Twitter and be a bit more. I'll try and like get your name out there a bit more so you can try and get some job interviews and stuff like that. But let me know how you're going. Keep in touch with me and let me know how you're getting on with the job hunt. And I'll see if I can get anyone who's looking. I'll maybe forward some recruiters on your way as well. So keep me posted on how that's going. Yeah. I've sent you some links. For some study stuff. Let me know if you struggle with that or you need any access to it, and I'll try and get you some stuff. And good luck with your AZ400. Make sure 400 is quite tricky actually, because they ask you quite a lot of different technologies. It's not just DevOps. It's like GitHub Actions, Azure DevOps. There's a bit of GitLab in there. There might even be a TFS question. So yeah, just make sure you do lots of hands-on. You need to know Git quite well as well. There's a couple of questions on Git that are quite tricky. But do some practice tests. Definitely do some practice tests for that. There's even some container stuff in there as well for the DevOps exam. It's not straightforward. It's pretty tricky. But yeah. So I think we'll call it quits there. So I just wanted to say thanks for coming on. It's been really nice meeting you for the first time. Good catching up with you. You're an absolute inspiration. So please keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully you'll get a job soon. I'm pretty confident you will. Yeah, you're doing all the right. You're doing all the right stuff. Okay, so tomorrow I'm joined by Tim Warner, and he's going to be chatting all things Azure OpenAI service. So for people who haven't seen it or want to see what it's like, Tim's going to be on tomorrow at the same time. So the links will go on Twitter and LinkedIn and Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, sorry. So just remember to press like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Samson, just stay there, don't move, and I'll chat to you in a minute. But thank you for watching. Let me just say cheerio for now.